Mercedes-Benz T300.
23 Mercedes-Benz C300 sedan, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we are in this one today because I personally love the styling of this thing, and I've actually been reviewing this car for 8 years now. That means I'm getting freaking old, but it also starts at under $45,000, which is pretty impressive for what this thing offers as well. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so MSRP for the rear wheel drive will start at $44,850. Then you got the 4MATIC all-wheel drive starting at $46,850. But regardless of the configuration that you go with, the power plant on this one is going to be the same. Powering the beast is a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, putting out 255 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, 295 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 2,000 RPM. Again, power sent to rear wheels or all wheels through a 9-speed automatic with paddle shifters, which we will test out here in a little bit. 0 to 60 time, according to Mercedes, coming in at approximately 6 seconds flat, with MPG numbers coming in at 25 in the city, 36 on the highway. That's dang impressive for the rear wheel drive. And then 24 in the city, 33 on the highway for the all-wheel drive, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun paddle shifter or acceleration test here in our C300 sedan, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There's a button labeled dynamic that stands for dynamic select. Through that, you were able to pick between eco, comfort, sport, and individual, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. All right, so we got it in sport driving mode. I got it in full manual shift mode. Here we go. Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's plenty quick. I will say, for whatever reason, there is some sort of slight delay to the paddle shifters. It's funny, you know, however many Mercedes I've tested, some paddle shifters, the AMGs obviously, are ridiculously quick, like among the best, and some of them do have a slight delay to them, and that is the case in the C300 sedan. But having said that, as far as acceleration goes, you're most definitely not going to have any issues with merging onto the highway. This thing is plenty powerful for what it is. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So as you would expect, four-wheel disc brakes do come standard. Cross-drilled rotors, typical Mercedes fashion, they do tend to do that. I love that. As far as that 6C0 stopping distance goes, it's going to come in at a very impressive 112 feet. That's a brilliant number. That's sports sedan good, you guys. A lot of sedans come in the 120s, so 112 feet, that's excellent. So as far as braking feel goes, instantly brings you to a stop. You guys probably heard my backpack go flying there because, yeah, it's excellent braking power in the C300 sedan. But then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a 4-link front suspension. In the back, 5-arm multi-link rear suspension. But you know what else you get standard? An adaptive damping suspension. I love those because essentially what that is, it's going to monitor each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it's also going to tighten up the suspension during heavy cornering, really giving you the best of both worlds, the better handling there as well. So I always love when vehicles have that. And so as far as ride quality goes, as we're going 2 miles per hour right now we're coming to a stop, it's been plenty fine, and that's due in part because of that adaptive damping suspension. It feels like a Mercedes-Benz in terms of ride quality, so I absolutely love that. As far as steering feel goes, it is a noticeable difference, like I said, dependent upon the drive mode that you put it in. So if you put it in that sport driving mode, it's going to be a much heavier weighted steering feel, as if you were to put it in the comfort driving mode, it's going to instantly loosen up that steering feel for you. So you really get the best of both worlds there. As far as cabin noise goes, I will say the only thing I'm really hearing personally is the turbocharged engine, which is a pretty cool sound to hear, quite honestly. I like hearing that. Other than that, it is a very serene cabin. And I did want to mention, there is actually an option for the C300 sedan. That's an acoustic glass package. It goes for $150. That's not only going to give you an acoustic laminated front windshield, but also acoustic laminated front side glass, which isn't even always the case in luxury vehicles, because like I said, it is an option. So it's a rare one. You get that in the S-Class, but even amongst luxury vehicles, typically you'll get the acoustic laminated front windshield, but not the front side glass. So that is brilliant, and that's going to give you the most serene cabin possible if you were interested in that for the C300 sedan. But then touching on visibility, I can see perfectly fine out of my rear view mirror, so visibility, as you would expect, is 100% on point. Rain sensing windshield wipers, though, do assist with forward visibility, and that does come standard for every single trim level across the board, so you got to love that as well. And there is an optional head-up display available if you wanted that. That's going to project your speed limit, and safety features up on your windshield so you can better focus more of your attention on actually enjoying the drive. Once again, a system with forward visibility. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Mercedes-Benz C300 4MATIC sedan. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Mercedes-Benz C300 sedan, finished in polar white, in case you were curious of the exact exterior color name that we had on this one here today. And so since this one was recently redesigned in 2022, not much has actually changed for 2023. So let me start by saying that, and let's go ahead and get started with where this one is actually built and assembled actually. So taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter W, indicating that the C300 sedan is built and assembled in Germany. Love it, as it should be. So taking a look up front here, Mercedes diamond block front grille will come standard. I do want to mention though, there is an AMG line night package that goes for $3,400. We do have that, and that gives you much more aggressive styling throughout, not just on the front end, but also the side skirts and the back end as well, and also plenty of gloss black exterior accents to go along with all of that. But to the sides, LED headlights do come standard. They'll come with LED daytime running lights as well. Of course, also with the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, those headlights will turn on automatically for you there, and automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beams. So very convenient feature there. But the one package I really want to mention up front is the adaptive digital light headlights. So that goes for $1,100, and that gives you actually more than just what you think. So obviously a little brighter illumination at night, but again, they're adaptive. So I love adaptive lighting because essentially what that is when you're going around a bend at night, those headlights are going to swivel based on the direction of your steering angle, better help illuminating what is around that bend, so you're less likely to hit a deer or a squirrel or whatever the case. So it's really a safety feature in itself, and you get added illumination of course as well. And actually they also include ultra wide high beams to go along with all that, so plenty with that lighting package. So I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. Do want to mention though, down below, traditionally you will get a chrome front lip unless you go with that AMG line night package, in which case you're going to get a gloss black front lip of course. And of course to the sides you will find some front air curtains helping direct air around the wheel and tire combination for a little better added aerodynamics there as well. But that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of this one, standard configuration, you're gonna get chrome window surrounds, obviously. With the AMG line, you're gonna get gloss black, like I keep mentioning. Chrome accents on the door handles as well, we still got those. Body color power adjustable side mirrors coming standard with integrated turn signals, and they will also be power folding coming standard as well. So when you lock this thing up, it's gonna fold the mirrors in. When you unlock it, it's gonna fold them back out. So that's a pretty cool standard feature there. Taking a look down at the wheel setup, 18-inch 5-spoke alloys coming standard, 18-inch AMG specific alloys for the AMG line package that you guys are looking at right now. I always love the wheel designs that Mercedes-Benz pulls off. It's so unique, unlike any other vehicles on the road, so stinking cool. And of course, there's plenty of 18 and 19-inch designs available to really make this one your own. And of course, since we have the AMG line, we do have some specific side skirts found on this one that you're not going to get otherwise, basically. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Love the look on the side of this one. But let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, very first thing I want to mention, because this is so different than literally every single other vehicle on the road, is Mercedes-Benz doesn't give you a shark fin antenna all the way to the top, or really any kind of visible antenna on the roof of this thing. Every single other manufacturer that I've seen does. It's so much cleaner of a look on a Mercedes just because of that alone. But anyways, rear spoiler is available for $350. You can actually get that in gloss black or body colored. It's your choice. It doesn't come standard, but it is available for $350. LED taillights do come standard as well. Added illumination there. But having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. zooming out since we are around to the back of the C300. When it comes to opening that rear trunk, it is a power trunk that does come standard. There is a button on the driver's side door, of course a button on the key fob, and a button on the trunk itself then as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 12.6 cubic feet behind that second row there. If that was not enough space, there is a 40-20-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down. There's actually a button in the cargo area to kind of power fold down those rear seats, which I don't think I've ever seen in a sedan, the fact that it's power folding, so that's pretty darn cool as well. Of course, there is some cargo lighting back there. There are actually 2 grocery bag hooks, which again, another feature you don't typically find in sedans. There's also 4 chrome plated tie-down anchors as well, and if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find some decent amount of in-floor storage, another feature you don't typically find in sedans. So love that as well. You can put a tire inflator kit or an ice scraper or whatever you want back there, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, then make our way up to the rear legroom, coming in at 36 inches even. I'm an even 6 feet tall for reference. This is how much space I have back there. There is a rear center armrest with a tablet or cell phone holder back there, so that was kind of interesting. Also rear ventilation coming standard, and a little bit of storage if the rear passengers look forward under that rear ventilation there as well. But then make our way up to the front seats. Power adjustable front seats with memory settings do come standard, and memory settings, by the way, not just for the driver but for the passenger as well, for up to 3 different passengers. That's something you don't typically find on other vehicles out there, so love that. Heated front seats coming standard, MB-Tex upholstery coming standard. You can get leather seating for $1,620. Then you can get ventilated front seats for $450 if you were interested. But overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was okay. Not too bad. I would have preferred vertical seams. I say that in pretty much all of my videos because there's no awkward pressure points, but overall, plenty fine. No issues with the seating for me. Then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped, a perforated leather actually, so absolutely love that. You can actually get a heated steering wheel then for an additional $250. And I do like the flat bottom that comes standard on this thing as well. Very sporty look to it. But then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your Mercedes-Benz logo all the way to the top, which doubles as your lock button. That's pretty cool. Unlock just below it, and of course the button to pop the rear trunk there. But it is all keyless entry with a push button start, so all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just to the left of that infotainment screen, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But taking a look at the gauge cluster here, it is a 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster, so stinking cool, which by the way can be completely changed up if you didn't like the look of it. So there's an understated look, there's a sport look, and there's a classic look, and it completely changes the look of the gauges up there. So I actually like the sport look, so I think I'm gonna leave it on that, but you can put it on classic as well. So amazing look. By the way, the sport look, it's almost like a 3D gauge cluster, kind of fades off into the distance. It's so stinking cool. You got the G-force statistics on the left too, but anyways, it tells you how many miles you have left until you hit empty, outside temperature, pretty much everything you could possibly want up there. And like I said, it is completely customizable because it is digital. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Power sunroof is going to come standard. However, there is a panorama roof available for an additional $1,000 if you wanted that. We do have that today, so I love that. Home light controls do come standard. That's found just below the rear view mirror for up to 3 different garage doors. Dual zone climate control coming standard, so both driver and passenger can set their own temperatures there. 64 colors of ambient lighting. That is stinking cool, and I love how Mercedes still puts the ambient lighting within the vents right now. So, and right now that ambient lighting is actually changing colors of I am sitting here. It's going from blue to cyan to red. It's just constantly changing colors. It's so stinking cool. I love that. And again, it's inside the vents that I'm looking at right now, so it's kind of like a subtle thing. I don't know, I like it. But plenty of interior options as well. You got ash wood, walnut wood, metal weave, natural grain black wood, so plenty of options to make it your own. And I like this kind of weave carbon fiber pattern-ish looking look just surrounding the cup holders here as well. It's a pretty darn cool look. It's very smooth too. Nice gloss finish to it there. So as always, Mercedes-Benz always crushes it with their interior quality. The only thing I would probably add is maybe a suede headline, or at least have it available. But other than that, absolutely amazing interior quality in this thing. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen. Like I said, it is an 11.9 inch color touchscreen display, portrait style, so it's not a horizontal display like Mercedes has done in the past, so I like that. Of course, it is touchscreen. It's a very easy reach as well, so you don't need a touchpad controller or anything like that in this thing. But there is also that functionality where you can say, hey Mercedes, and then it'll essentially respond to you and do whatever you ask it to do. So that's pretty cool. Bluetooth and audio streaming coming standard. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, factory navigation system is available for $650 if you wanted that. You can check out your climate control settings up there, of course, your ambient lighting settings as well, along with your radio information. So standard sound system actually is a front bass 5-speaker sound system, but there is an available 15-speaker Burmester 3D sound system available. That's actually the one that we have today. That comes with 750 watts, by the way. So having said that, let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Alright, so that wasn't Sirius XM, by the way. That was just regular FM radio. I can tell there was a ton of bass and plenty of clarity. Honestly, that sound system is fine. It could have been a lot better if we had Sirius XM hooked up to this thing right now, but we don't yet because this car just came in. But I will say it was super easy to turn up and down the volume as well. There's a little button all the way to the bottom right-hand corner where you just slide your finger to the right for up, slide it to the left for down. That was very easy to use as opposed to just the traditional knobby thingy. So I like that way of turning it up and down. But anyways, sound system was definitely plenty fine in this thing. But last thing I want to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the C-Class in reverse here, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. And there is a surround view monitor as well that is going to be optional. That's found on all the way to the left there. And there is actually a complete bird's eye view as well that you could set across the whole screen if you wanted to as well. So plenty of different views, and just using your finger, you can actually look all around the vehicle. This is so stinking cool. Like, I could play with this for a while. This is really cool technology. But anyways, the parking assistance feature all the way to the top there, where you can essentially, it'll search for a parking space and then you can tell it if you want to pull in or back in. That's a really crazy feature as well. But anyways, as always, all of that is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, I first want to mention in 2021, the C-Class was an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest rating given by IIHS. It hasn't yet been tested for 2023, but typically vehicles only get better over time, so I'm sure it would be perfectly fine if it was tested. But anyways, front side curtain airbags do come standard, driver's knee airbag as well. Rear side impact airbags are available for an additional $700 if you wanted to go that route. In the back, also, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors to tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, attention assist, active brake assist, adaptive braking technology, Mercedes-Benz emergency call service. So if it detects that the airbags go off and you've been in an accident, it's going to automatically call you and ask you if you need an ambulance or the police or whatever the case. Love that. Blind spot assist with exit warning as well. And then on top of that, there is a driver assistance package. It goes for $1,700. That's going to include adaptive cruise control, emergency stop assist, lane change assist, lane keep assist, speed limit assist, active steering assist, evasive steering assist, and route-based speed adaptation as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, excellent interior quality. Mercedes always crushes it with that, especially their ambient lighting. That always impresses me. This thing's plenty quick as well. Certainly didn't have any issues there. Very, very good braking. That's 60 in whatever I said, 112, 114 feet. I forget what I said now. That is incredible. That's an incredible number, and it definitely brought me to a very quick stop in this thing. As far as room for improvement goes, I really do think safety should be standard. I'm gonna keep saying this on my Mercedes-Benz reviews until Mercedes-Benz makes it standard, because that driver assistance package I just read off to you, traditionally that will come standard on Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, Honda. Brands like that give you all of that for free. You don't have to pay any extra for it, but on Mercedes, it's a driver assistance package for $1,700. So Mercedes, if you're watching this, make safety standard, please. Another thing, that rear side impact airbags that goes for $700 in this thing, you get a standard on a Corolla. I'm just saying. That leads me to my next point. The C-Class can get pricey very quick in typical Mercedes fashion. And I guess they do it that way so people can get into the brand just because it's a Mercedes-Benz. They can get into the brand at a lower price. But when it's all said and done, you're probably going to end up with a lot of options, jacking up the price a lot higher than that standard MSRP that you started with. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the C300 sedan in the comments section below. And that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews, because that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know. I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.
Mercedes-Benz Maybach 600
Merhaba sevgili Web Tekno takipçileri. Bu videomuzda Karşıyaka'ya geldik. The Galleria sahibi de Sedat bu arada. Sedat hoş geldin videomuza.
Bulduk, merhabalar.
Şimdi arkadaşlar Sedat'la birlikte dünyanın en lüks arabalarından birisi olan Mercedes-Benz S600 inceleyeceğiz. Bildiğim kadarıyla bu arabanın zırhlısı bir tek Cumhurbaşkanımızda var.
Doğrudur.
Zırhsızı kaç tane var?
Şu anda Türkiye'de hazırda bir aracımız var. O da bizde mevcutta şu anda. Başka
Tek
bir
araç.
yok.
Peki kaç kayma abi bu?
Euro bazında 495 bin euro. TL olarak çevirdiği zaman 2200 bin TL.
Ay maşallah. Bayağı iyi. Vurdum ama. O zaman arkadaşlar ve Sedat hazırsak artık arabanın içine geçelim. Şu lüks neymiş bir bakalım. Şimdi biraz motorundan bahsedelim. Bu V12 nedir abi şimdi?
Böyle bir motorda şu anki bulunan araç 5980 cc değerinde, yaklaşık 530 beygir gücünde 12 silindir bir motor var üzerinde. Zaten şu anda üzerinde 2 tane kapak var. Biri yağ kapağı, biri su kapağı. Yani kısacası araç diyor ki benim yağımı suyumu koy, benle fazla muhatap olma şeklinde diyebilecek kadar
Aynen.
akıllı teknolojiye sahip bir motor var üzerinde. Bu araçta toplamda 12 tane bölge kamera dediğimiz bir kamera sistemi var. Tamamıyla hem güvenlik açısından hem park açısından konulmuş bir kamera. Bu ön taraftaki ızgaranın altında bulunan kameralardan bir tanesi.
Şimdi abi geldik benzin deposuna. Çimento boruları oluyor abi. Onunla mı? Bu niye bu kadar büyük?
Şu anda üzerinde yaklaşık 80 litre kapasiteli bir yakıt tankımız mevcut. 6000 motor yüksek yakıt tüketimi olan bir araç için de gayet ideal bir yakıt tankı. 80 kuruş ile yaklaşık 1 TL ortalamasında bir yakıt tüketimi böyle bir araçta mevcut.
Koltuklarla başlayalım abi.
Araç iki arka tarafı 2 kişilik oluyor. Normal bir S320 ya da S kasalardan tamamen farklı. Aracın arka koltuk başlarında göründüğü gibi 2 tane ekranımız mevcutta.
Dayanak yanlarında kolu çevirdiğimde gördüğünüz gibi koltuk bir daraldı.
Koltuk ısıtma panelini istediğiniz gibi derecede ayarlayabiliyorsunuz. Bu aynı şekilde soğutma için de geçerlidir. Burada gördüğünüz gibi zaten aracı kendi oturma şeklinize göre ayarlayabiliyorsunuz. İleri, geri ve şu anda ayağınızın altını kaldırıyorum dikkat ediyorsanız. Koltuk başları aynı şekilde ileri geri rahatlığınızı sağlayabiliyorsunuz. Sırtı aynı şekilde ayarlayabiliyorsunuz. Fabrikadan özel çıkartılmış olan bir kulaklık sistemi mevcuttur. Şu ara kolçakta göstermem gereken iki detay var. Bunu çıkardığınız zaman şuradan bir sehpa özelliğini taşıyan bilgisayarınız, tabletiniz, ara kolçaklardaki buzdolabını da size ilave edeceğim. Orada alttaki bağlantı olarak ekstradan USB girişlerini ya da AUX girişlerini çok rahatlıkla her cihazı bağlayabiliyorsunuz.
Şuralar nedir abi bu çekmece?
Yani 12 wattlık burada bir koymanız gereken bir çakmak şarjlık var. Telefona ekstradan takıp telefon görüşmesini buradan sağlayabiliyorsunuz. Yolculukta kullanılabilecek bir bardak soğutucu mevcuttur, alttan soğutmalı.
Şu an soğukta,
Evet.
şu an sıcakta. Araç ayarları bölümüne geldiğimiz zaman da şöyle bir girivereyim. Yüzey ısıtıcı diye bir opsiyon geliyor karşımıza. Koltuk ayarlarında da gördüğünüz gibi arkadaşlar bu oturduğunuz yerin sağ tarafındaki dayanak yanların ayarı, sırt bölümünün ayarı ve masaj var. Biz keyifçi olduğumuz için en çok bununla ilgileniyoruz. Sağ tarafa mesela derecesini ayarlıyorsunuz arkadaşlar. Mesela 4. dereceden sağ tarafı başlattık. Aynı bu ekranda gördüğünüz gibi şu benekleri sırtımda hissediyorum. Ben artık biraz ön panelden bahsetmek istiyorum. Gelin biraz ön panele geçelim artık. Bir arabayı açalım ya. Start'a basıyorum. Şu ne abi?
Tamamen hissiyat üzerine algılanmış bir mousepad'imiz var. Burada bir ekranımız var. Görüyorsunuz. Bütün radyo özelliği vesairesi.
Şu an ekranı buradan kullanıyorum. Araca bir girmek istiyorum. Basılı tutuyorum. Bu arkadaki ekranda gördüğümüz
Araç aksesuarlarını buradan tamamen arka taraftaki gibi hareket edilebilme.
tüm çevreye dikkat edin diyor. 180 derece görünümden. Evet 360 dereceye geçtik şu anda. Bu ekranda herhalde sağa sola gidemiyorum.
Şu anda gidemiyorsunuz. 360 olarak yana kaydırıp bastığınız zaman uydu alıcısı üzerinde park esnasında aracın bütün etrafından bütün kamera sistemini algılar.
Basıyorum ama. 5000 devirdeki arabanın içindeki sesi çok iyi şu an. Direksiyon standart abi. İşte ses açma kısmı. Yine aynı fonksiyon burada da var anladığım kadarıyla. Direksiyon ikonuna bastığım zaman direksiyon asist devrede dediği şey şeritleri algılayıp aracın şeritten çıkmasını engelliyor. Şerit tutma asistanını devre dışı bıraktık ve şu an devrede dedik. Bir kornasını duyabiliyor muyuz ya? Çok güzel korna ha. Standart yönetimler, burada koltuk ayarları vesaire vesaire. Valla Sedat bayağı bir detaya indik bence. Şurada bir panel daha var.
Yükselme alçalma butonumuz vardır. Daha hızlı ya da yavaş gitmek açısından. Burada iki sürüş modu var. Biri sport, biri konfor şehir içinde.
Şimdi biz bir test sürüşüne çıkmak istiyoruz. Bir tur rica edeceğiz senden arabayı ama galiba sen ofiste kalacaksın. O zaman dönüşte görüşürüz abi.
Üzere çok sağ olun.
Şimdi arabanın içerisindeyiz arkadaşlar. Yanımızda artık Serkan var. Serkan hoş geldin videomuza abi. Head-up'ından kaynaklı cama benim buradaki panelin aynısı yansıyor. Şu an muhtemelen kameralar onu alamıyor. Sinyalimi verdim. Evet, Tesla'da olduğu gibi bunda da bir G etkisi söz konusu oluyor arkadaşlar. Sonuçta 12 silindir bir Mercedes var önümüzde. Hakikaten bir makam arabası keyif veriyor. Şu an şerit tutmamız açık arkadaşlar. Ellerimi direksiyondan çektiğim zaman gördüğünüz gibi araç otomatikman şeridine yerleşiyor. Koltuğun sırt bölgesi, yanaklar ani hamlelerde sağa sola savrulmanızı engelliyorlar. Şu an İzmir'de Mavişehir'e doğru gidiyoruz. Son derece sakin bir yolculuk. Bildiğiniz makam arabası bu. Seyir halindeyken kameraları açtık. Şu uydu görüntüsü harika ya. Şu an hareket ediyor arabamız. Yani ben bunu uydudan görebiliyorum. Şu an gördüğünüz gibi gece görüş modumuz açık, sisli vesaire havalarda kullanmak için. Bunu sport moduna alayım mı abi? Al. Şu an arkadaşlar spor moduna aldım. Arabayı gördüğünüz gibi Active Body Control Sport oldu. Hafif gaza yükleniyorum. Evet, sport modu bu olsa gerek ki. Aman diyoruz. Oy. Şehir içindeyiz arkadaşlar. O yüzden yapmıyoruz şu an 0-100'ü. Bu tur bize kaç liraya mal oldu abi?
5 kilometre falan yani.
5-6 lira ama
5-6 lira ama.
şurada bir SOS var Serkan.
Herhangi bir acil durumda SOS'e bastığınızda direkt yetkililer sizin bulunduğunuz yere
yardım gönderiyor.
Aynen.
Arkadaşlar, trafiğe olan dikkatinizin dağılmaması için görüntü sürüş esnasında kapatılır diyor. Yani yolda giderken aman ben arabayı izleyeyim falan filan yapamıyorsunuz. Bence mantıklı olmuş. Şu an durduğumuz için görüntümüz geldi. Lütfi bir şey dedi. Şurada bildiğiniz GTA 1 var arkadaşlar. Tabii insan kendini Maybach S600'de GTA 1'de gibi hissediyor. Yıllık ne kadar ödeniyor abi buna vergi?
30 bin lira.
30 bin TL. Yani böyle bir araban varsa yıllık 30 bin bence koymaz abi. Sedat, çok teşekkür ederiz bu deneyim için abi.
Teşekkür ederiz geldiğiniz için.
Arkadaşlar, sizler de videomuzu beğendiyseniz aşağıda bulunan beğen butonuna basmayı ve aklınıza takılan herhangi bir şey bizlere yorum bölümünden sormayı unutmayın. Anketimiz şu Sedat, biz takipçilerimizle anket yapıyoruz. Bu arabayı beğendiniz mi çok merak ediyorum. Eğer cebinizde 2,5 milyon TL'niz olsaydı bu arabayı alır mıydınız? Başka bir web tekno videosunda görüşmek üzere. Hoşçakalın arkadaşlar.
Görüşmek üzere. İyi günler.
Ekranda duran bağlantıları tıklayarak bambaşka web tekno videolarına ulaşabilirsiniz. Ayrıca hemen şuradaki bağlantıdan da kanalımıza abone olabilirsiniz arkadaşlar.
Mercedes-Benz Maybach S580.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to this channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube. And today, we have behind us the new 2021 Mercedes Maybach S584 Matic, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so this is a pretty exciting car. It's a limited supply, approximately one of 500-ish. It's, of course, plenty powerful. And I'll give you all those specs in a second. An MSRP's for $184,900. This one tops out at right around $215,000. That's what this one is currently listed for with options. And that doesn't even account for the offers that have already been had on this one, which are much higher, actually. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, powering this beast is a 4-liter bi-turbo V8 with EQ boost, 496 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque, sent to all four wheels through a 9-speed automatic. 0 to 60 time comes in at approximately 4.7 seconds. When it comes to the ride quality, it is an adaptive self-leveling 4-wheel multi-link air suspension with a Maybach-specific driving mode as well. So essentially you have the normal comfort mode that comes with the S-Class, and then you have Comfort Plus, which is the Maybach-specific driving mode, giving you an even more luxurious ride, which is pretty crazy because the S-Class is already luxurious as it is. And the rear wheel steering on this thing makes for much better handling as well, and it is pretty ridiculous to watch. It's definitely something that you gotta see in person, especially because it's so stinking cool the way the rear wheel steering works. But anyways, I'm not really here to touch on the performance and the driving dynamics of this thing, because of course that's plenty good and it is very impressive. But what really makes the Maybach special is the exterior and interior unique features. And so that is what we will be going over in this video today. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and get started with the exterior on this new 2021 Mercedes-Maybach S580. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the exterior here. The Mercedes-Maybach S580 essentially takes the already great S-Class to a completely different level. Up front, you're gonna find some added chrome detail around the front grille as well as the lower portion of that front bumper. There is a Maybach exclusive grille. You guys can obviously tell by not only the different design, but also the Maybach lettering towards the upper portion of that front grille. Definitely looks good. In addition to that, you have the Mercedes crest that rests on top of the hood with vertical chrome accent just behind that, a little bit different there as well. Touching on the paint a little bit, because this is pretty stinking cold. There's actually 15 monotone colors to choose from with 10 two-tone options. We actually do have one of those two-tone options. I don't know if you guys can tell exactly on video here, but essentially we have the obsidian black and rubellite red metallic combination. So it's one of the 10 different two-tone color options that is available from the Maybach here. Full LED headlights, of course, meaning both low beam and high beam as expected. They come with the automatic feature as well as automatic high beams as well. LED daytime running lights, and that's all pretty standard at this point, but definitely very nice looking front end. Then making your way to the side of this one, you actually have an additional 7 inches added to the wheelbase compared to the regular S-Class. And this is mostly due because of the added back seat room, which you guys know we will get to in a little bit. Really, the interior is the best part. But anyways, taking a look at the wheel configuration, 20-inch forged monoblock design wheels is what we currently have here today. But I will have you know, there is an optional wheel design that's going to be the 21-inch design that is available that replicates the design of the champagne flutes found in the back seat. But I am a fan of the forged monoblock design that we happen to have here today. I will say that it looks very, very good, but much more chrome accent can be found on the side as well, including that B-pillar, chrome window surrounds also towards the side skirts and on the door handles as well. And by the way, speaking of the door handles, they actually slide in and out of the door, which is pretty cool. So I liked that. And on the C-pillar towards the back there, that Maybach crest that you guys can clearly see, it actually illuminates at night as you approach the car and unlock it. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to show you that to you guys right now because it's bright and sunny here in Hagerstown, Maryland, but that is a pretty cool feature as well. But then making our way to the back, again, plenty of chrome accent you can find. LED taillights do come standard. Just below it all, dual exhaust outlets with chrome tips. So since we're here, we might as well. You guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. So now that we are around back of the Mercedes-Maybach, when it comes to opening that rear trunk, of course, as expected, it is the power trunk. Once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 12.9 cubic feet. In addition to that, you will find LED cargo lighting back there. There is a 12-volt power outlet as well. If you lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you're actually going to find some in-floor storage, which quite honestly is unheard of for sedans. You find that in SUVs quite a bit, but you never see that in sedans. So that is pretty cool to see as well. And there's actually a grocery bag hook that folds down if you were to need it in that cargo area as well. So definitely a good bit going on back there. And you will see in the middle of that cargo area, there's a little bit of space taken up, and that is because of the fridge in the back seat. Let's go ahead and make our way to the back seats now. Rear legroom is going to come in at an even 44 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there, but it actually gets better because you have an option. You have a button on the side door, only on the passenger side, but I'll have you know, if you press that button, the front seats actually fold forward, the headrests fold forward as well to give you additional legroom, and then that rear passenger seat actually folds back, giving you a more relaxed position, and then there is a leg rest that extends, and then in addition to that, a footrest that folds down off of the front bottom portion of the front seats. So the rear passengers are definitely going to be comfortable, and when you add to that massaging rear seats, in addition to that, heated and ventilated seats as well, of course, but massaging rear seats, you never see that, and typically you don't even see ventilated rear seats, so that's pretty impressive as well. And of course, as expected, you have your throw pillows that come standard back there, also pillows on the headrest as well. And for a little bit more added comfort, not only the door armrest, but the center armrest as well is also heated. So in a cold day here in Hagerstown, Maryland, you can actually have heated armrests on both sides in addition to your heated seat as well. That is pretty impressive. But then if that rear passenger were to look to that center armrest, they're actually going to find a second command center for MBUX. And that's going to be that pop-up tablet that comes out of the center armrest that can control essentially everything in the car. Everything from the climate control to the radio. You can set the navigation. You can set your destination that you want your driver to take you to from from that second command center in the back seats. You can also control the ambient lighting, you can control the rear window sunshades and side window sunshades, and my favorite part, you can make the Burmester sound system, the speakers, do a little twirl as well, which I thought was pretty stinking cool. But anyways, touching then on that sound system, it is a Burmester 30 speaker sound system with 1750 watts, 2 large subs in the trunk, which essentially you feel when you really get the music going in the back seats. You can feel it through the seats, so it's an extra layer of massaging seats, I'll put it that way. And continuing with that Burmester sound system, there's actually a very large speaker found on the ceiling of those back seats as well. So again, 30 speakers. I guess it's expected when you have that many speakers. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio and let's test out this sound system that we have in our 2021 Mercedes-Maybach S580. Yeah, that was pretty darn good, needless to say. There's a speaker on the ceiling of this thing. The bass, let me tell you guys about the bass. The bass comes through the rear seats, like I was saying. So there's a subwoofer behind this seat, there's a subwoofer behind this seat. So you do have the massaging seats, but if you didn't want to put them on, the bass is enough. The sound system is insane. The number of speakers and the quality of the speakers in this thing, not to mention the tourney speaker, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And this particular Mercedes-Maybach S580 also comes with the Executive Rear Seat Package Plus, which goes for $6,000. And that gives you a 4-seat cabin configuration as opposed to the 5-seat, of course. Folding tablets for the rear seats, and that's within the center armrest actually in the back there. They fold out so that if you were working on your laptop perhaps, you have the ability to set your laptop there. Or maybe if you want to have your lunch or dinner back there as well, you have a little tray that folds out for you and then conveniently folds back into that center armrest in the back. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. Not to mention the heated and cooled rear cup holders. So if you have a hot drink, you're covered. If you have a cold drink, you're covered as well. And you do have champagne flutes. So when you want to take out your wine bottle from the mini fridge, and yes, there is a mini fridge in the back seat. That is very nice as well, of course. You do then have the champagne flutes that very conveniently lock in place so they don't slide around in those back seats, because I believe many people would think if there's champagne flutes they're going to slide around, but they actually lock into place so that they don't, which is pretty convenient. And of course you have the ambient lighting placement, and it is very vibrant ambient lighting. I'm sure this thing would look absolutely amazing from the inside at night. And again, all those colors can be adjusted through that second command center via the tablet in the back seat. And as expected, the front seats are equally impressive. I'm not going to go over them because essentially you got everything in the back that you got in the front, more or less. And there is a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. It is wrapped in Napa leather and it is heated as well. You do have a very nice design on the dash. The ambient lighting continues on, so pretty much everything in the back is available in the front as well. So very nice configuration up front. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen there if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel before it actually gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.
Mercedes-Benz 450.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the brand new 2023 Mercedes-Benz E450 Coupe, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so today we are in this one because this is an absolutely gorgeous coupe right now. This is an amazing looking vehicle, and metallic paints are now standard for the 2023 model year. So that's essentially what's new for this year. But this one did just arrive, so ultimately we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. So essentially there are two different configurations for the E450. You got the rear wheel drive configuration starting at $69,750. Then you got the 4MATIC all-wheel drive, which is the one we have today, starting at $72,250. But regardless of the configuration that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. Powering the beast is a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder. That's pretty cool. 362 horsepower at 5,500 RPM, 369 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 1,600 RPM. That power sent to the rear wheels or all wheels through a 9-speed automatic with paddle shifters. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 5.2 seconds for the rear wheel drive, 4.9 seconds for the all-wheel drive, with MPG numbers coming in at 23 city, 30 on the highway for the rear wheel drive, 21 in the city, still 30 on the highway though for the all-wheel drive, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration or paddle shifter test here in our E450 Coupe, wanted to mention to you guys the drive modes. There's a button labeled dynamic. It stands for dynamic select. It's kind of a toggle switch located just to the left of the touchpad controller. When you hit that, you can adjust between Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, steering sensitivity, and the air suspension, which doesn't come standard, but it is optional on the E450 Coupe. So I wanted to mention that. But now I've got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find straight away. Let's put the paddle shifters and acceleration here to the test. Let's see how quickly the paddle shifters are going to react for us, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2023 E450 Coupe here up to speed. All right, second gear. All right, let's go. Whoa, this thing's quick. This thing is fun. This thing is fun, man. Paddle shifters are pretty darn quick as well, but that acceleration, that's what puts a smile on your face. It's a lot quicker than I thought it was gonna be. So definitely a lot of respect for the acceleration in the E-Coupe here. So wonderful. Anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So as expected, you will find a performance-oriented braking system, perforated front disc with 6-piston front calipers, including that Mercedes-Benz lettering, of course. That looks so dang good. As far as the 680 stopping distance goes, actually comes in at 127 feet, which on paper is not the best, quite honestly. I expected better, but let me go ahead and hit the brakes just to test it. Braking feel is fine. It is a little bit on the softer side of things, I will say that, but the braking feel is fine. I certainly personally wouldn't have any issues with the brakes on this thing. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get an independent 4-link front axle, in the back independent 5-arm multi-link rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars, but you also get an adaptive damping suspension, and this is one I always like to recommend when it doesn't come standard release, which it does on the E-Coupe, because it essentially monitors each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it also tightens up that suspension during heavy cornering, really giving you the best of both worlds. So for that reason, ride quality has been perfectly fine on my short little test drive here today. Definitely not having any issues there, but I did want to mention there is an optional air suspension. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video there, that goes for $1,900, by the way, but that is really ultimately going to give you the very best ride quality. So that is what you want if you want the best ride quality. As far as steering feel goes, it's fine. It's definitely weighted on the heavier side of things, not too heavy. It's honestly just perfect, or just right for the E-Coupe, so no issues there. As far as cabin noise goes, we're going 5 miles per hour right now, and there isn't a whole lot of wind noise coming in. I'm just kidding, you guys. Honestly, the cabin noise at 55 is dang good as well. It's definitely a very serene cabin, as you would come to expect from Mercedes-Benz, of course. And touching on rear visibility, it's perfectly fine. Honestly, some coupes, you do have issues with rear visibility, but that's not the case in the E450 Coupe, so definitely no issues there either. And if you wanted a head-up display projecting your speed limit, and safety features up onto your windshield, that is available for $1,100 if you wanted to go that route. But as we are sitting in construction right now, that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Mercedes-Benz E450 Coupe. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Mercedes-Benz E450 Coupe, finished in manufacturer Moonlight White Metallic, which is a $1,750 paint option. I do like it though. If you get up close, you can definitely see the metallic flake in it. it. So definitely a very nice look. But again, metallic paint is now standard on the E-Coupe, whereas it was not in the previous model year. So I do want to emphasize that. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where this one is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter W, indicating that the E-Coupe is built and assembled in Germany. So that is pretty cool. So starting up front here, diamond block front grille will come standard. That comes with a dark finish. It's going to be the standard setup. However, there is a chrome diamond block front grille that you guys are currently looking at. That comes standard with the AMG line packages. There are 2 of them, and that definitely adds a more aggressive front fascia, which you guys are looking at right now as well. So satin chrome front lip will come standard on this one. To the sides, LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. Also get the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, these headlights will turn on automatically for you there. But also to go along with that, automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night, then since it's a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when the vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beams for you. So definitely a very nice convenience feature there as well. But overall, very nice looking front end as always. But now let's go and make our way to my favorite part, which is the side of the E450 Coupe. All right, so but now making our way to the side of this one. Chrome window surrounds will come standard, but one of the coolest parts, frameless door glass for the front and rear windows, meaning they will go down completely. So that is a pretty cool look. That's something Mercedes-Benz does and has done in the past, and I've always liked the look of that. But anyways, body colored power adjustable side mirrors will come standard. That will be heated with LED integrated turn signals, and they will also be power folding, as you would expect for Mercedes-Benz, of course. You do also have some chrome accenting found on the door handles to tie together with the chrome accenting found around the window surrounds there. And then take a look down at the wheel setup. 18-inch twin 5-spoke alloys will come standard. 19-inch AMG specific alloys are going to come with the AMG line packages, and I love the look of AMG wheels. They're always so unique, but that is what you guys are looking at, of course. And then, of course, there are 19 and 20-inch wheel designs available to really make this one your own. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back, first thing I always typically mention is a shark fin antenna. However, in typical Mercedes fashion, there is none of that. So a very clean look up top on the roof of the E-Class here. Definitely like that. But rear spoiler is going to be available. You guys are looking at that. That goes for $350 if you wanted that option. There is a center high mount stop lamp as well. There are LED taillights, so a little added illumination at night there. I like that. And just below it all, you're going to find integrated dual exhaust outlets with satin chrome tips, and yes, I love that they're integrated into the rear bumper. Also a big fan of that matte black rear diffuser back there as well. But having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of the E-Class Coupe here, when it comes to opening that rear trunk, there's several different ways to go ahead and do that. There's, of course, a button on the key fob. There's a button on the driver's side door, but my favorite way is the hidden way, where you press in on the upper portion of the Mercedes logo in the back there. And of course, it's going to automatically then open up for you because it is a power trunk that comes standard on this thing. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 10 cubic feet even. If that was not enough space, there are some levers back there. You can fold the rear seats down. There's a 40-20-40 split, meaning that's a ton of extra space then if you needed it. There is some cargo lighting back there. There are cargo tie-down anchors as well. A little bit of netted storage to the sides. To my surprise, there's actually a little fold-down grocery bag hook, so you got kind of places to hang your groceries on both sides there. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a little bit of in-floor storage, maybe enough for an ice scraper or something like that. But anyways, then making our way up to the rear legroom. That comes in at 35.9 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there, and quite honestly, 35.9 inches for a 2+2 is dang impressive, if I'm being honest. That is a good bit of space for a two-door coupe. So well done, Mercedes, for pulling that off. But there is some cup holders back there, of course. There's rear ventilation and a couple of phone charging ports back there then as well. But then making our way up to the front seats, power adjustable front seats with 4-way power lumbar does come standard. Memory settings for both the driver and passenger comes standard as well. That's pretty cool. Leather seating coming standard, heated front seats coming standard. If you want ventilated front seats though, that goes for $450. And another option you might want to check out is multi-contour front seats with the massage function. So yes, you can get a massage in this thing for an additional $950 if you wanted to go that route. But Overall, seating was plenty comfortable for me. I love the vertical seams as well. That's something I always gripe on in other reviews that I do. When you got the horizontal seams, you got awkward pressure points, but with vertical seams, it's a lot comfier, comparatively speaking, to the horizontal seams. I'm just saying, so no issues there. Then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is going to be leather wrapped, coming standard. I like the perforation on the left and right hand side. It's a flat bottom, which I love as well, and the 10-2 grips are definitely bolstered on the thicker side, so I definitely love that as well. If you wanted a heated steering wheel, it goes for $250. But then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. Essentially, all of your buttons are located on one side of the key. Got your Mercedes logo front and center, but lock on top, unlock at the bottom, and that button to pop the rear trunk as well. But it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that silver engine start button located just to the left of the air vents there. And so once started up, 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster does come standard on this thing. I love that. One of the best parts about the gauges, though, is if you go all the way to the right, you got a designs and display section where you can choose different loadouts, completely changing the look of the gauges, including classic, sport, progressive, and understated. Understated is kind of funny because it's literally like nothing up on the gauge. It's just the digital readout, basically, which is pretty cool. But anyways, if you wanted to completely change the look of your gauges, that's why digital gauges are so important in today's age, because you can do it, so why not do it? That's my theory. I absolutely love it. Of course, it gives you outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, radio information, when you need your next service, and so on. So pretty much absolutely everything you could possibly want on the gauges, of course. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. A panorama roof does come standard on the E-Coupe. Love that. HomeLink controls also coming standard, and that's for up to 3 different garage doors, found just below the rear view mirror there. Dual zone climate control coming standard, along with 64 colors of ambient lighting. And in typical Mercedes fashion, it's done so incredibly well, and that can be adjusted through the infotainment screen. We'll check that out in a second here. But several ashwood trim colors are available as well. There's like a light beechwood color. There's this dark mahogany color that we have in this thing. And I always say, whenever Mercedes puts wood trim finishes in their vehicles, when you first get into these things, it doesn't smell like a new car. It smells like a new home, as if you were just building it from scratch. So I absolutely love the smell of this thing, I gotta say. I like the design of the air vents as well, and how they're actually built into the wood trim. I like the color contrast that we have on this one, like the kind of saddle brown with the dark black as well. The leather finishes everywhere. You do have a little bit of storage just in front of the cup holders. There's a phone charging port, 12-volt power outlet, of course your cup holders themselves. And within the center armrest, there's a little bit of storage there, and you got a couple more phone charging ports within that as well. So overall, definitely no issues with the interior quality, and you wouldn't expect any when it comes to Mercedes-Benz. You do have an overhead sunglass holder as well, in case you're curious. But anyways, now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen. As you would imagine, to match the gauges, the infotainment screen is also a 12.3-inch color touchscreen display. And so, like I said, it is touchscreen. You also have this touchpad controller and buttons located just behind your cup holders. That's another way. And you got the awesome functionality by simply saying, "Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
Turn on the radio." And it's on. I just got to turn it up, so I'm just going to turn it up here. Yeah, that's proof. Anyway, so that's pretty darn convenient, I will say that. But anyways, Bluetooth and audio streaming do come standard. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay as well. Again, you can check out your ambient lighting settings and all of your different colors up on that screen as well. You got climate control settings up there, and you got a cool theme section. If you go back to the home screen and then you kind of swipe up from the bottom, you got trip, experience, efficiency, and lounge. And what those themes essentially do is change just about everything. It changes the ambient lighting colors. It can open and close the panorama roof up top here. So it does adjust quite a bit, actually, depending upon the different theme setting that you put it on. You don't have to play around with that, but it's there for you if you want it. But you can also, of course, check out your radio information up there. So when it comes to the standard sound system, that is going to be a 13-speaker Burmester surround sound system, 590 watts, and 9-channel digital amplifier and a subwoofer. And the speaker covers, of course, are finished in aluminum, so very high end. So I love that as well. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing this morning, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Alright, I'm going to say something with this sound system that I don't traditionally say in my other reviews, is this one specifically sounded like you were at a concert. It really was coming at you at all ends. The clarity, I believe, in this sound system sounds amazing. decent amount of bass, not the very most I've heard, but the clarity was 100% on point. That's the part that will blow you away with this particular sound system that we have here. But anyways, last thing I want to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the E-Class in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, but not just that, you're also going to get that panoramic view monitor, the 360-degree view all the way to the left there. That also comes standard on the E-Coupe, so you gotta love that. But as always, that is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, I will say that sedan is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. The coupe has not been tested with IIHS. I would imagine it would be the same thing, but don't quote me on that because it hasn't been tested. But traditionally, Mercedes does make a very safe vehicle, but front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you're gonna have latch, aka lower anchors to tethers for children for the rear car seats. Tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, Mercedes-Benz emergency call service. So if it senses the airbags go off because somebody hits you or something like that, the car is going to automatically call you and ask if you need an ambulance or police or anything like that. So that's pretty cool. Active brake assist, blind spot assist, attention assist, cross wind assist, which is a pretty cool feature as well. Parktronic with active parking assist, rear cross traffic alert, and adaptive braking technology as well, which I actually got to test out there during the construction. When I went off-road to go around the cones, it actually almost stopped for me because I was going off the road, which is kind of cool. But anyways, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the E-Coupe, great looking design. I definitely think Mercedes makes a heck of a good looking coupe without a doubt. Plenty of power in this thing as well. You guys probably remember that acceleration test. That was pretty nuts. Amazing interior quality, amazing ambient lighting. I always say Mercedes-Benz does ambient lighting better than any other manufacturer that I've tested. So that is pretty darn good as well. Very comfortable ride, very serene cabin. That's one of the things that I even noticed even more after I went over that portion of the review initially. So very serene cabin in this thing. The only room for improvement, I guess, if you're buying a Mercedes, maybe it doesn't matter as much to you, but this thing does come with quite a bit of options. Therefore, it can get pricey pretty darn quick. So a lot of options allow you more customization, but it also jacks up the price pretty quick. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the E450 Coupe in the comments section below. And that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews, because that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.
Mercedes-Benz EQS